Hi guys, so I finally made the decision to make a video based on my experience with my myomectomy surgery. I made the decision to make a video because I know it's a lot of women dealing with this same situation that I dealt with. So I'm gonna go into details. I'm gonna explain how I found out about the fibroid tumors. I'm gonna explain just everything. I'm gonna go into details so no one is confused about anything. And if you are confused about anything, you can always ask me questions or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna get this video rolling. So on May 5th, 2022, I had an appointment scheduled for to see if I had hormonal imbalance. If you do not know what hormonal imbalance means, it basically means, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Like your hormones are out of whack, or off balance. Sometimes you may, your cycles may be all over the place, or weight gain or anything like that. So basically, I went in for an appointment to check to see if I had hormonal imbalance, because I started having 2 cycles in 1 month, which was very abnormal for me. So I'm the type of person to jump right on it. So if I'm having a situation, I like to just act on it immediately and not wait. So I went to go get it checked out. I went to the little after hours clinic to go get checked out. So as I proceeded to tell the nurse what symptoms I was experiencing, I told her I was having like 2 cycles in a month, and pressure and pain and things like that. So I was just telling her that I think that I have hormonal imbalance. Well, she also thought I had hormonal imbalance as well. She broke it down to me, what hormonal imbalance was, and it kind of sounded similar to the symptoms I was experiencing. So she wrote me a referral to go to OBGYN clinic, that specializes in that. So she sent me a referral over to see if I did have hormonal imbalance, because that clinic that I went to, they couldn't really check my levels, or they couldn't do anything. So they sent me a referral over. So I went to my appointment. Fast forward to August 2nd. August 2nd was my appointment date to check to see if I had a hormonal imbalance. So as I went to my doctor's appointment, the nurse asked me what symptoms was I experiencing. I proceeded to tell her the same thing. Pressure, pain, having 2 cycles in 1 month, and things like that. So as I proceeded to tell her the symptoms I was experiencing, she then told me that she wanted to do a pelvic exam. So as she did the pelvic exam, she stated that my uterus was very bulky. I was very confused as to what did she mean by my uterus being very bulky. So she said she felt something, and she wanted me to go get checked, to go get an ultrasound. So I went to go get the ultrasound August 8th. August 8th, 2022, I went in to get an ultrasound. As I got the ultrasound, probably about, I want to say about 4 or 5 hours later, the nurse called me and she wanted to go over the results as to what they found on the ultrasound. So she called me and she said, hey, I want to go over the results from the ultrasound. She said, I have some good news and bad news. So knowing me, I always want to know the bad news first so I can kind of prepare myself. So I'm like, okay, what's the bad news? So she said, well, the bad news is that you have, we found fibroid tumors. So you have 2 fibroid tumors. One is 5 centimeters and one is 3 centimeters, I want to say. So 5 centimeters is like about this big, No, I'm lying. It's about this big, maybe. And the 3 centimeter probably was about this big, I want to say. As she told me that, I was like very confused because I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really know what fibroid tumors was really about. So I was like, okay. She said, but the good news that it is common in Black women. So she pretty much calmed me down. And she just explained to me that it's very common. It's not nothing to really be too concerned about because they have things to correct the situation. So, she basically let me know my options. She said that they can do surgery. It was the list of options. They have UFE. That's when they shrink the fibroid tumors. They can shrink them. And they can also do what they call a hysterectomy. A hysterectomy is when they remove your uterus. Well, by me being so young and not having children, that option was eliminated for me, like automatically. I also didn't want to do that anyway because I want to have children. But anyways, she let me know what my options were. And then I came back in for an appointment for a MRI. So fast forward to October 29th, I'm sorry. So fast forward to October 29th, 2022. I went in for an MRI because they wanted to get a detailed image. We all know ultrasounds doesn't pick up every little thing. So they wanted to see exactly, what they're aiming for or whatever to make their final decision on surgery or not. So, I went in. It was about like 7 o'clock at night. It was like a late MRI. So I went in for the MRI, took off all of my piercings and everything like that. So yeah, I got into the machine. They asked me what kind of music I want to listen to. Basically trying to make me feel comfortable. I was kind of scared and a little nervous. They calmed me down. They let me listen to music. It was a lady like above my head. She really wasn't supposed to stay in there, but by me being so scared and tensed up, they allowed her to stay in there with me. She stayed in the MRI room with me the whole entire time. The MRI was approximately 45 minutes, I want to say. So I did the MRI. They put the contrast in there, of course. I didn't even know that they put the contrast in there because I was just so like out of it, I want to say. I don't know. But so yeah, they put the contrast in there. They got the images that they needed. After the MRI, they let me know it's gonna be probably a couple days before the doctor can see the images. So the doctor, my doctor got the images, and my doctor's appointment, he showed me those images and he was like, well, I see 6 tumors. And he pointed them out. I see one really big one. It was like 8 centimeters. So what they said on the ultrasound that was 5 centimeters was really 8 centimeters. So this is why they do MRIs, to get a clear view. Because the ultrasound, you can't really tell. You can't really see how big it really is. So he proceeded to show me the images and let me know that the tumor was way bigger than what they actually thought it was. And then they also told me that I have submucosal fibroid. Submucosal fibroid is when the tumor is located in the uterine wall, so in the lining of the uterus, which means that it can prevent you from conceiving, from getting pregnant, whatever like that. It's in the way, I want to say. And that the smallest tumor that I had caused me the most pain, and the really small one, the one that was like 3 centimeters, that's the one that caused me the most pain, and the heavy bleeding or anything like that. But so yeah, he basically said that he went over the options with me. He was like, well, do you have children? I said, no. He said, do you want children? I said, yes. So he said, well, I think we're going to proceed with the myomectomy. I think that would be a good option. We can open you up and get all of the tumors out. You will still be able to have kids. And when he explained that to me, I was like, okay, well, that sounds like a good idea. I mean, you don't have to take nothing out, just the tumors itself, nothing else. So, we agreed to do that. So fast forward to that. I'm trying to see. I actually wrote some of this stuff down because I knew I would forget as I go. I knew I would probably forget. So I wrote in my journal, basically my story. I could pretty much explain it without reading this, but sometimes I get a little stuck and I'm like, okay, yeah, let me go back. So the bottom line is, what I thought was hormonal imbalance turned out to be fibroid tumors. I was very shocked. So yeah, let's see. I already explained the ultrasound. Let's see. All right, they discovered it was 6. So that I already explained that they said that it was 6 tumors after the MRI. Let's see. Oh, and I also want to explain how I had to get a blood transfusion. I had to get iron infusions, all because of the fibroid tumors. It was causing a lot of bleeding and, things like that. So it was causing my hemoglobin to drop. So originally, your hemoglobin is supposed to be between 12 and 14. Okay, well, due to the fibroid tumors causing a lot of bleeding, my hemoglobin went down to a 6. It was a 6. I got my blood transfusion, had to get admitted in the hospital. I stayed in the hospital for about 2 days with a blood transfusion. I also want to say I thank God for the people that donate blood. Shout out to you guys that donate blood, because I never really realized how important donating blood was until I was the one that needed the blood. So I really, really, really appreciate people that donate blood, because people like me really needs it. And some people, like their life depends on that. Like, it could be life or death, or things like that. It's really, really serious. I really thank God for the people that donate blood. I had to get an iron infusion as well. So when I do get the surgery, it will be a successful surgery, with me having enough iron. Well, as I got the iron transfusion, just, my body rejected it pretty much. Well, the first iron transfusion I had, it went okay, but after the transfusion, my body reacted to it. I started breaking out in hives all over my legs. It was bad. But it wasn't as nearly as bad as the second iron transfusion I had. I mean, the iron infusion that I had. The second iron infusion that I had, that one, my body immediately reacted to it. They had to give me oxygen. It was so scary. It was like everybody rushed to me and giving me all this stuff, equipment, oxygen, all this stuff, because it was like my body just couldn't take it. It was called Ferrahene, just to let you guys know. That's the name of that was the second iron infusion that I had, that didn't work. The first one, I really can't remember the name of that one, but the second one was called Ferrahene. So I'm going to always remember that name because of the experience that I had. But, so back to the story. I had got the iron infusions. So now we're going to talk about me getting checked into the hospital for the surgery. Okay, so December 16th, 2022 was the date of my surgery. Okay, so the way how that went was, me and my mom, we went to Shands Hospital. I checked into the hospital about, I think I had to be there at 8:45. So I had to be at the hospital to check in by 8:45. Checked in. I probably was waiting maybe about 10 minutes. I wasn't waiting very long. They gave me my hospital band. They walked me back to the pre-op area. As they walked me back there, they told me to take everything off. Piercing, I actually took all that stuff off at the house, because, I already knew what I was getting myself into. I already knew I was going to have to take all that stuff off. So prior to going to the hospital, all my piercings, everything, earrings, everything was already out. I was pretty much good to go. I just had to, of course, get undressed and get into the hospital gown that they wanted me to get in. So as I got into the gown, so they only allowed like 2 people back there. My mom was there with me in the beginning. Then I want to say maybe 20 minutes into me getting into the pre-op room, my dad and his wife, they came up there, to support me. So at that point, it was just them 2. I don't know. My mom went somewhere to get something to eat, something. But anyway, so it was just my dad and his wife at the time. They comfort me. They said a prayer. By that time, my mom came back, and we all, my dad, he's real good at praying and stuff like that. So they said a quick prayer, and, I was real scared and nervous. This is my first surgery, so I was nervous. So after the prayer, whatever, the doctor came in. It was like different type of people coming in. It was a doctor that came in, then my doctor that did the surgery. just different people introducing themselves, let me know what they're doing. They put an IV in me. So I'm the type of person, I ask a lot of questions, lots of questions. It's actually good to ask a lot of questions. So anyway, I asked them, I'm like, so what are you giving me? What is this? He's like, oh, I'm just giving you some fluids. That's pretty much all I'm doing. So to be honest, I really think that was the anesthesia, because prior to me even going to the hospital, they give you like paperwork and all that stuff. You read over it and tell you how the surgery gonna go. And then prior to that, I had a doctor's appointment with anesthesia, and I remember them saying that they would give me anesthesia through my IV. So I really, honestly, truly feel like he told me it was fluids just so I wouldn't get all worked up and scared and stuff. I don't know. I feel like the scariest part of this whole situation was the anesthesia for me. I asked a lot of questions when it came to anesthesia. I wasn't really even too much nervous about the surgery itself. I was more so scared of the anesthesia, because it's like somebody is putting me to sleep. Like, I'm really finna be unconscious. A lot of people might, like that. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be knocked out. I'm not gonna know what's going on. But for me, I was scared because I'm like, somebody is controlling when to wake me up. I'm gonna be unconscious. It's just a lot of things was going on through my mind. I was just scared. But anyway, so he told me it was fluids. They checked my vitals, of course. So just a lot of people just kept coming in and out the room, in and out the room. I was starting to get nervous, so they gave me some type of medicine to calm down and to relieve my anxiety. Yeah, I think I got real bad anxiety. But anyway, so they give you this medicine for people that have anxiety. They give you some type of medication. I forgot what the name of the medication is. But yeah, so they said, oh, you're gonna feel really good, and it's gonna feel like you had a shot or all of this, So anyway, couple minutes after they gave me the medicine, I started feeling like loopy, drowsy, just calm, relaxed, as I should be. So like after they gave me the medicine, I want to say about 30 minutes after they gave me that medicine, they wheeled me down to the OR, to the operating room. All I could remember was them telling me to slide over. So they told me to slide over to the the part where you have to be when they do the surgery. So I had to slide over to the operating table. I slid over to the operating table. I swear, probably about, I literally want to say like 3 minutes later, I was out of it. Like, I literally don't remember anything like beyond that. Like, all I can tell you that I remember was being in the operating room, sliding over to the operating table. At that point, I don't know. Like, I guess I completely blacked out. It felt like they literally woke me up 2 minutes later. It felt like, and it was like, oh, your surgery is done, and we're gonna wheel you to recovery. And I'm still out of it, literally. It's like I can hear what they're saying, but I'm still not wide awake either. So I'm like, okay. So they wheeled me down to recovery. I can vaguely remember my mom and my grandma was there. I can kind of remember a little bit, not really. I was still under the anesthesia a little bit. So yeah, my mom and grandma was there. They said my surgery lasted about 4 hours. That was pretty long, because what I was told was my surgery was going to be about 2 hours. But the scariest part was, well, I'm not going to say scariest, but the most shocking part about this whole situation was, I remember them saying that my mom asked how many fibroid tumors I had. So my doctor proceeded to tell her that it was 13 fibroid tumors. Not one, not two, but 13 fibroid tumors. I was out of it, but I definitely remember hearing them say that. I was like, oh my God, are you serious? So anyway, I was pretty shocked about that, about the 13 fibroid tumors, because as I told you guys, they thought it was 6. So we went from them saying it was 2 fibroid tumors to them saying it was 6 fibroid tumors to now you're telling me 13. So, where was I? Okay, so after they told me that, I was pretty shocked. And then, at that point, I'm still laying down. I'm still out of it. The transport people came in, and they was waiting to take me up to my room. So they took me up to my room. You know, of course, I was in a lot of pain, excruciating pain. At that, I kept asking for medicine, So, of course, I needed assistance with going to the restroom and getting cleaned up, all that stuff like that. They actually had a catheter in me and stuff. At first, they had like a catheter thing. So that first day, I had a catheter. So if I needed to use the bathroom, I could just go. But my doctor told me that the next day, like that morning, that they were going to take it out. So they took it out. Then the next day, they said, okay, well, we want you to go walking. I went walking. They were very impressed on how I was walking. Like, they were shocked. They was like, oh my God, like, you're doing amazing. Like, they were very impressed on how well I was moving. I was really, like, walking around the whole unit. Like, my whole unit. I walked around, and I walked to the elevators, and I walked back. So I told the PCA, I told her, I said, well, I want to walk around the whole unit with the walker. Then I want to walk around without the walker, because I want to see how independent I was without the walker. So I walked with the walker around the unit, which the unit is pretty big. And then after that, I told her, I said, okay, let's walk without the walker. Let me walk without the walker. So we did that. Everybody was impressed. The staff, everybody was so excited. I was getting up, moving around, which I needed to do. So after that, I walked back to my room. Of course, I had visitors. I had a lot of support. I'm telling you, if you get this surgery, you're definitely gonna need support. It's kind of a mental thing, you know. You be kind of sad because you're like, dang, you know, I just had surgery. So you kind of want that support and comfort from friends and family. I had support. I had my dad up there, his wife, my best friend eventually came, my brother, of course, my mom. I had another friend, a guy friend, that came up there as well. So when getting this surgery, you're going to need that support. You're going to need that friend or family member to uplift you, you know, encouraging words, you know, somebody to uplift your spirit. And I definitely had that. People were bringing me stuff. Everybody was, what do you need? Do you need me to bring you anything? It's funny because I've asked for stuff that I wasn't even gonna eat or drink. It was hilarious. But yes, you definitely gonna need the support when getting this type of surgery. Definitely gonna need it. So yeah, I was improving really well. I was walking. I was impressed myself because I didn't think I could do it. But yeah, I was very impressed. So I'm gonna fast forward to so I got admitted that Friday. That was the day of the surgery, December 16th, 2022. On a Friday, I was discharged December 19th. I was discharged. So I went in the 16th, got discharged on the 19th. Wait, 16, 17, 18. I'm sorry, I was discharged on the 18th. So I was discharged on the 18th. I went home maybe about 3 o'clock that afternoon. My doctor came in and said that everything was going okay and he felt safe for me to go home. I went home. You know, I was, of course, walking really, really slow. I needed help. And they also, another thing I want to recommend is getting an abdominal binder. So basically, abdominal binder, well, I have one. It's in the room. I don't really feel like getting up, going to go get it. But it's basically like, it looks like a waist trainer, to be honest. It looks like a waist trainer, but it's not. You wrap it around your stomach. You make it kind of tight so it can support your muscles in your stomach and, you know, to keep everything intact. I probably wore my abdominal binder for about, a day or two. Didn't really wear it that long because my stomach was still sore from the surgery. So I kind of recommend to wear that maybe a couple days after the fact, like maybe 5-6 days after the fact. I mean, it depends on if you can tolerate it or not. But for me, my stomach was still sore, and then my incision down there, so it was just like I couldn't really do it. But if it works well for you, that's good for you. For me, it was just kind of hurting a little bit. But it's supposed to support the muscles. It's supposed to keep everything intact. It's supposed to make you heal faster. But for me, it really didn't work. I mean, I feel like I healed better without it. So basically, yeah, I am officially 1 week post-op. Almost 2 weeks. This Friday will make 2 weeks post-op. My surgery. My stomach has went down a lot. My stomach has went down a lot. So my stomach was really big due to the fibroid tumors. Again, I did have 17 tumors that they removed. So basically I had a C-section, but without a baby. Basically, to sum it all the way up, I basically had a C-section, but instead of a baby, it was tumors. My incision is like a bikini cut. It's below my stomach. So yeah, my doctor informed me to not get pregnant until after about 9 months from now. So that would be September. In this case, it would be September. That would be 9 months from now. So basically I was told to not get pregnant until 9 months from now because I could rupture. This was a major surgery. So when you get this type of surgery, you don't want to just automatically get pregnant and, you know, rupture anything. And, you know, because of course your uterus is still in the process of healing. So if your uterus is in the process of healing and then a baby grows inside of there, it's just not going to work out. You could also have a miscarriage, and definitely don't want to go through that. So, yeah, my doctor advised me to not get pregnant until like 9 months from now. And he also stated that whenever I do get pregnant, I would have to have a C-section. I would not be able to have a baby vaginally. I'm kind of actually glad about that though, because now I kind of know what to experience. I mean, yes, I've never had a child before, but this basically was a C-section. So now I kind of know what to expect whenever I do, you know, have children. So now, basically, when I get pregnant, I will have to have a C-section. you know, they would cut the same scar, like they would cut where they cut me to get the tumors out. It would be a scheduled C-section, they told me. But yeah, so this surgery has been a wake-up call. It changed me mentally. This surgery, it did. It changed me mentally because it's like, for one, I never had a major surgery like this before. So that can also change you mentally, like being that you never experienced it before. And now I'm just in the process of healing. I'm taking it one step at a time. I was told to not really be driving like that while I'm on pain medications and things like that. But whatever works for you is fine. I have not drove since the surgery. Well, since before the surgery. I have not driven my car. You definitely want to watch your diet, what you're eating. I wasn't on a restricted diet. I was on a regular diet, so I could pretty much eat what I want. But what I mean by, you know, watching your diet, or, you know, basically just, you want to eat things that's soft. You want to eat things that's easy to consume, things like that. You don't want really nothing heavy on your stomach after a major surgery like this. So yeah, make sure you eat soups, mashed potatoes, things like that. Like I said, you don't want nothing heavy on your stomach. So yeah, I mean, I've been drinking a lot of flavored waters, Gatorades, lemonade, things like that. I've been drinking things like that. So yeah, I mean, I've been watching my diet and things like that. I eat a lot of fruit, I love fruit. So yeah, this surgery has changed me though, mentally and all of the above. So I just wanted to explain my surgery. And again, I had a myomectomy. For those who don't know what a myomectomy is, it's a removal of fibroid tumors. Everybody's situation is different. Some people don't have to get surgery. Some people can get it shrinked, get the tumor shrink. But in my case, I had to get the surgery. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm open to hear anybody else's story. I was once that girl that was on YouTube, wondering about, you know, what could happen, and just scared and wanted answers. So that was why I made the decision to make my own video. Because I know it's millions of people out there that's probably dealing with the same situation. As I stated before, this is very, very common. I'm excited now that the surgery is over with. I could begin the new year on a fresh start, you know, no tumors and nothing like that. None of the pain and none of, you know, things like that. And the biggest blessing of it all is I'm able to have children. That was like my biggest thing. Like, everybody who knows me personally knows I want kids. So to be honest, that was probably 90% of the reason why I got the surgery, because I know that was preventing me from being able to conceive. So that was pretty much my main reason why I wanted to get it, because I do want kids in the future. Not at this second, of course, but in the future. And another reason, because of the pain and the discomfort and the heavy bleeding, things like that. So it was a lot of different reasons why I got the surgery, but the main one was because I, to preserve my fertility. But yeah, again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm free to answer anything. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you.